It's time to get to International Roundup. What have you brought in today, the Big Badge? Your segment, what have you got?
I've got too much.
Too much?
I've got too much, mate.
Okay.
Sure.
Well, why don't we start with cricket, mate, because it's one of your loves.
Okay.
So you've got T20,
yeah,
and you've got the Tests,
yeah,
and we always thought at some stage it would get to this.
Yeah.
They're going to play at the same time in two different countries.
Yes.
How do Australia sort that out?
Well, this is going to be a real test, Phil, to see which one they rate higher. Now, to me, if it was me, it'd be Test cricket.
All the players
every day of the week, every day of the week. But you've got players that cross over. You've got Davey Warner is a classic case.
Yep.
He opens up the batting for Australia in the Test series, and he opens up the batting in the T20. Now, where does he go? Does he go to New Zealand for the T20, or does he go to South Africa for the Test series?
Well, the only thing with Warner is the way he plays. He doesn't know whether he's in a Test or a T20. He plays the same way.
Yes, he does know, because he's wearing white clothes.
He bats the same though. I love the way he goes at it.
He
defies it, doesn't he?
Well, he does.
Yeah,
he does.
And maybe it's changed. You correct me if I'm wrong. Certainly, when I've spoken to the players in your era, or as Callum Ferguson, as far as close as we can get to Callum, or Dizzy Gillespie, they'll always take Test cricket over T20.
Yeah.
But underneath that now, the younger generation, it's where the money is.
That's the thing,
it's not so much stress on the body.
Yeah.
Do you think we'd see more like the senior players might drift over to the Test and the younger players might T20?
There's talk that David Warner will say to the selectors, pick a young guy for the Test series to open the batting, and I'll go to New Zealand. If he does that, his Test career is done and dusted.
Why would he say that?
Well, there's talk that he may do that.
To help a younger kid or prolong his career?
You don't help anybody, mate.
So he's trying to prolong his career?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, where does Smith go?
You certainly don't help anybody.
Where does Smith go?
Where does Smith go? No, Smith will go. Smith will play for Australia. He'll play the Tests in South Africa. Odds on there.
So the batters are divided. What about the bowlers?
Same. Look who bowls for our T20. In our last T20 series here, we had Stark, Hazelwood, Cummins. Mm-hmm. That's our Test attack.
Yep.
So what do you do here now?
Which one would you do if you were a bowler? Which one would you take?
I'd go the Test.
All right,
I'd still go the Test.
All right, because you love the Test, but if I'm putting it to you saying which one for your longevity would you take and financial return?
Baggy green, mate. They've got
the baggy greens though.
Yeah, but you're playing for it, mate. It's a different feel.
I get you.
T20 is a bit of pyjama.
So you don't think the shift has been, that's easier on the body. It's where the more money is. I can play for longer. I've got a baggy green. Instead of playing baggy green for 10 years, I'll play for 5 and now I'll get over here, I make the big
The risk
cash.
is you don't play again. That's your risk. That's your risk. What happens when you have a real great Test series against India here in Australia? And mate, you decided to go and do a little T20 over in, well now Phil Smythe's come in and take your spot. He got 100 in the Test. He's in, you're out.
We're taking care of India at the moment.
I just think
Test's the tradition, isn't it?
Well, I think that the majority of the players would back the Test series.
It's a bit like saying if you're a tennis player, would you play at Wimbledon or would you go and play in Adelaide?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, mate.
Okay.
And talking about tennis.
Yep.
8 degrees and Victoria Azarenka didn't want to play. 8 degrees. She said, I'm from Florida.
I can't play.
That's what she said.
It's too cold.
That's exactly what she said. It's too cold, I can't play, and I live in Florida.
Have you watched any of the French Open?
Yeah, I watched Dominic
Did you watch much of the US Open?
No, I didn't.
It's interesting, isn't it?
I did watch Dominic Thiem play Marin Cilic, whatever his name is. I watched that game because I like Dominic Thiem. Okay. But I don't. You're right.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because before, if you go back pre-COVID, we'd all be watching it.
Oh, exactly right.
And I don't reckon most people are.
More cricket?
Yep.
No more cricket.
No more cricket.
Well, the girls are slaying them. Australia's the best team in the world by a million miles. So we won't go.
One of our guns with a hamstring injury, though.
Exactly. Another hamstring.
It's the same one for her too, isn't it? For
another hamstring.
Elise Perry, it's that. You know, so they're being cautious. They're saying she won't play in this. She'll finish the T business out, the ODI, and then she should be okay.
Okay, your Grand Prix, your Russian Grand Prix, Daniel Ricciardo.
My boy.
5th.
Yep. In a crap car still.
Still
in a crappy car.
Jack Miller.
Your boy. 5th.
The boys are 5th.
We like 5. Give us some machines that can win, mate.
That's right, mate. Put me on a bike that can go. Cam Percy, Matt Jones finished tie 8th, tie 14th in the golf. We're not playing well. No Australians. But a youngster on the Euro PGA Tour, on the European Tour, Matthew Ancliffe, is his best finish, tied for 3rd in the Irish Open.
Well done.
So we've got a lot of good kids coming through. But we're not playing well. None of our guns are playing well.
I wonder why that
your
is.
Days and Scotts and
Unusual,
Leishmans.
because they've been pretty consistent for it to, whether it's bothering or not.
Yeah. Well, Cameron Percy's is probably the most consistent player at the moment, and I think Cameron Percy's 45, maybe, something like that.
Yeah.
So none of our players are playing well in the golf. I'm not happy.
All right.
So I'm thinking about going over.
I know you've got a
there
couple
and
more, mate. You have to bring them to the close because we've got to get over to Chelsea for the news.
We do.
And we're getting the wind up. So let's get over to Chelsea. What's happening with the news, Chelsea?
Thanks, guys. I'm Chelsea and I'll be bringing you your sporting news update for this week. Firstly, to the SANFL, where out-of-contract Sturt coach Nathan Grammer said he has unfinished business at the club. This comes after he was let go from the Adelaide Crows coaching group after what has been not an ideal season. Grammer's future at Sturt hangs in the balance due to 2021 contract negotiations being on hold due to COVID-19. He says he'd love to sign on at the club next year and said there's a lot of potential from the players in upcoming years. Staying with the SANFL, the league announced that the Magarey medal count will be a virtual ceremony this year. It's no surprise the league made this decision in line with SA Health's social gathering restrictions and to ensure the health and safety of all players, officials and guests. The count will be televised on October 13 on Channel 7 and will be hosted by Mark Soderstrom. On to basketball now, where the Adelaide 36ers have approved player Obi Shea's request to be released from the club. Shea is stepping away from basketball to pursue a career in business back home in Sydney. Discussions between Shea and the 36ers took place last week, with the club saying they respected his decision to leave and said he did all the right things by keeping them informed. The 25-year-old joined the 36ers in 2019, where he played 28 games last season, averaging 3 points and 4 rebounds. He will be missed in the upcoming season, that's for sure. On to horse racing now. Murray Bridge horse trainer Bob Richards is waiting for the Victorian borders to open so his horse Star Hills can take to the track in Melbourne. Richards says if he can't go with the sprinter to Victoria, then Star Hills won't race. He's in form and ready to race in Melbourne after he claimed his 4th straight victory at Morphettville last Saturday. This comes after overcoming injury with an unaligned spine and requiring surgery in only the 2nd year of Richards training him. It will be interesting to see how this all unfolds, and I certainly don't want to see that Victorian border open too soon, that's for sure. Well, that's all from me, guys. See you next week.